Hello, it's Glenn again, and I'm doing the experiment number 2 of the Air and Gas Laws LateNiteLab. I will get an Erlenmeyer flask, and I will change the pressure. I will change the volume of air, and I will see how that affects the pressure. Okay? So, you double click on here, seal that flask with a nice little cork, and we assume that that's 150 milliliters of air in there. Now the way I'm going to change the volume of air in here is I'm going to put water in it. And water, of course, will take up the bottom of the flask, and the more water I put in, the more space that water will take up at the bottom of the flask. What does that mean for the gas? That means there's going to be less space available for the gas. In other words, when I add water, I decrease the volume of the gas. Interesting, right? Now, they're not saying it in this particular lab procedure, but the fact of the matter is, when you add water, not only do you decrease the volume that's available for the gas visibly, but also anytime water is in contact with air, some evaporation has to happen. And the amount of evaporation only depends on the temperature. And so at any particular temperature, any given temperature, there is always a certain amount of evaporation that occurs. So some water molecules get included with the air molecules. What does that mean? That means there's even less space for the air, since some water molecules are bouncing around up there also. But in this particular lab experiment, we're not worried about that. We're not worried about the water molecules that got evaporated and that are taking up space or adding to the pressure. We're only worried about the dry air and the volume that the dry air has available to move around in, and the pressure that the dry air is going to be exerting on our pressure gauge. Okay, so pressure at 1 atmosphere and the full volume at 150 milliliters. So experiment 2. Pressure at 1 atmosphere, full volume at 150.0 milliliters. Actually, it was 0.00, wasn't it? But that's okay. Save my notes. Hello. Save notes. Okay. And now I will add 20 milliliters of water. Okay, you'll add 20 milliliters of water. I'll add something else, like 13.33 milliliters of water. Okay, and then record the volume and the temperature. So, the pressure. So the pressure is now 1.10 milliliters. No, atmospheres, sorry. And the volume, that was the volume, by the way, is now 150 minus 13.33. Next, for my next step, I'll add some more water. I'll add maybe 31.62 milliliters. All right, 1.43. Oh, can you see that? You might not be able to see that, huh? Whoops. There you go. 1.43. The volume is 150 milliliters minus 13.33 milliliters minus, I just took out 31.62, didn't I? Milliliters? And I just put 31.62 milliliters of water in there, so that's the volume is going to be. Maybe I should do the subtraction now rather than later, huh? Okay, save notes. Alright, so let me do the subtraction now. 136.67. That's the volume. And over here, that minus 31.62. Whoops. What was that again? 150 minus 13.33 minus 31.62. 105.05. Your numbers are going to be much easier to handle because you'll just do it 20 milliliters at a time. Mine are weird like this because I'm not doing it 20 milliliters at a time. And I'll get the water again. There we go. This time I'll take 15.55 milliliters. Now the pressure now, since I've already calculated the volume for these previous steps, I know 105.05 is the volume of air that I had after the last addition of water, so I'll take from 105.05, take what I just added, 15.55, the water that I just added, and that'll get me the new volume minus 15.55, so that's 89.5. 89.50 milliliters. Okay, and I'll take another. Maybe I'll just take it all the way down to maybe 37.77. How about that? Okay, so the pressure is 2.90, and the volume 37. Oops. So the last volume, 89.50, minus the volume that I just changed, 37.77. And that's going to be minus 37.77, 51.73. Okay. And now I'm going to take 10 out. So now the pressure is 3.59, and the volume is 41.73. I'll take another 10 out. Haha. Yeah, that was too much pressure. That was pretty cool, right? I tell you, I really wasn't expecting that. Notes are saved. So that's it. These are the notes that you're going to need. Not these notes. You're going to need notes similar to these, except you would do this by 20 milliliter increments instead of these crazy increments that I've done. Save those notes, and you'll be ready to do those exercises, those calculations. Thank you.